Let's now do lesson number 3, which is validation rules done right. The 4 components every great rule needs. Every great validation rule has 4 components. Get these right and your rule became bulletproof. First component is the rule name. Format it as VR_object_purpose. For example, VR_op_require amount for close one. It is clear, scannable, and organized. Component 2 is the formula. Remember, true means blocked, false means allowed. The logic detects the bad data. The third component is the error message. Make sure it is user-friendly, action-oriented. Tell users what to do, not just what's wrong. Fourth component is bypass logic. Allow exception for special user. Use custom permission, and that is the best practice. Every validation rule should have all the 4. Claude generates all 4 in seconds when you ask it correctly. There is a universal bypass pattern. Use this on every validation rule you build going forward. Wrap your business logic in and function. Add the universal bypass at the end, not $permission dot bypass underscore values. Why this pattern wins? It uses a custom permission, which is clean and scalable, easy to align with permission set, easy to edit who has bypass, way better than profile-based bypass. Set up once, create the custom permission, add it to a bypass validation permission set, assign it to specific user when needed. Now, every validation rule respect this pattern and you are good. Here is your reusable validation rule prompt template. Save this in your Claude project. Notice how it includes everything: object, schema, context, requirements, bypass logic, naming convention, output format, and test scenarios. This single prompt handles 95% of validation rule scenarios you will ever face. Use it as a starting point. Customize the specifics. Get production ready output in second. Let's build something in real. Let's take, for example, the scenario is to prevent closing opportunity 1 without a contract attached. Let's Claude handle it. We will copy paste the structure, generate a validation rule for opportunity, and then we are going to give the purpose. Let's give that purpose. Then, with respect to schema, we are going to give it a schema. We'll say standard field use page name is one. Then we have a custom field, which is contract attached, which is a checkbox. And then we are using the API version 6. Then these are requirement to block bypass for user with custom permission, bypass validation. Then we want error message that has to be user friendly. Then we are asking it for a naming convention. And then we are asking for the output. So We have got a validation rule. We want Claude to generate that validation rule for us. For that, this is the prompt where we are saying generate a validation rule for opportunity that prevent closing opportunity one without a contract. In our org, we have got stage name and also a custom field by name contract. So we are telling Claude the schema to be used. And then we are also telling Claude what is the error message format we require, what is the naming convention we need. Now let's send it. And let's look at the output. Now Claude has given us an output which we can copy paste into our Salesforce org and we can generate the validation rule. So if I go to my Salesforce org, I can go to opportunity. Go to the validation rule. Create a new one. And now we can copy paste the output from Claude into our Salesforce. Rule name, and then copy paste the formula. Then we have an error message that we want to display to the user. Can copy this error message. And then we can save this particular validation rule. Claude also tells us step-by-step instruction how to add this into Salesforce. Then for the custom permission, Claude tells us that we have to create a custom permission by name bypass validation, and that has to be added to permission set. And any user who has that permission set will be able to bypass it. Then there are test scenarios which Claude provides to test our validation rule. And it also gives us the edge cases. Now it is your turn to build it yourself. You can pick any one of these scenarios. For example, we take prevent lead conversion without industry. Now, if we pick this particular example, this means we are working on the lead object. We will make use of similar schema. We will say generate a validation rule for lead. Then we'll copy this particular thing. What is the purpose? Then for the schema, we have to provide the fields from the lead object. So we are going to make use of industry is converted, then custom field, there is no custom field. Delete this one. Then the requirement, error message, all those remain same. And this is something that we will send it to Claude. Now, Claude has generated another validation rule, which is on the lead object. So that's why it is following our naming convention, br underscore lead and the purpose. And similarly, if we now want to create this particular validation rule on the lead, we'll go back to Object Manager, lead, validation rule, create new. We'll give a rule name. Then we'll copy paste the formula. And then we'll copy paste the error message also. So this is how we have created a validation rule on lead object in Salesforce. Claude also provides us step-by-step instruction to create it in Salesforce, how to set up a custom permission, and also test scenarios